How does breeding works in ARK? A complete guide of ARK breeding brought to you by Kaizer from Crete. Welcome to another tutorial, dear watchers. In this video, I will assume you have no idea how ARK breeding works. That is why I will start from nothing and with the first things you need to know to understand how ARK breeding works. But before that, let's watch the intro. For the new dear watchers, the seasoned ones, of course, will skip the intro. Hey, before the video starts, I'm gonna need you to bring some gas. Yes, gasoline. This channel, Kaizer from Crete, is a fabricator and I farm everything but gas. And that gas is your subscription. Are we clear on that? Now, if you get the gas by subscribing, video starts. These are our keywords to understand ARK breeding. Levels and stat points. Wild levels, tamed levels, and level ups. Mating, incubating, and gestation. Claiming, raising, and imprinting. And finally, getting mutations. But we're not done yet. Stacking mutations. And then breeding OP, super powerful dinos. So, take a good look at all these keywords. Then we will start. Now, in ARK, every creature starts with level 1, including your human character. That is the starting base level. And at level 1, you have something else. You have all these different numbers. And this is called base stats. Every creature has different base stats. A human character has 100 HP as a base stat. But a Tyla has 700 HP as a base stat. And a T-Rex has 1100 HP as a base stat. Now, this system applies to other stats as well, like stamina, weight, and melee. Melee and speed are shown as percentage, but they do have a base number. Game just doesn't show that to us for some reason. Now, we have learned about stats. Next thing is stat points, which they will give you the levels. One stat point will give you one level. The importance here is you don't get stronger if you get a stat point in food or weight. So high level doesn't always mean stronger dino. So let's see how stat points works now. If I add one level to my human character, I will be level 2 and I will gain 10 HP. How much I gain when I level up is also based on your species. As a human, I gain 10 HP. Let's see how much this Tyla is gonna gain. So Tyla's gain 26 HP. And let's see the Rex. So Rex's gain 59 HP. Now, this also applies to other stats. But you don't have to memorize every single dino's every single stat. It's also different with wild and tamed, but we're not there yet. So every stat you gain will give you a level. If you get 50 stat points, it will make you level 51. Same as dinos. Alright, now you know how levels and stat points works. Let's move to wild levels, tamed levels, and level ups. On official servers, wild dinos will spawn at starting level 05. So they will have 4 stat points already given to them. If you multiply that 30 times, you will get the server max level 150. Take dinos and some other dinos like wyverns also spawn a little bit higher. So when you see a level 150 dino, it will have 149 stat points already given to them. There must be a limitation on how many stat points can go to one single stat. Like if you see a dino with 50 points into HP, Crete, that is really high. But on this max level, you can't see 80 or 90 points into one single stat. So there must be a limitation. But we don't really need to know this. Also, unfortunately, official servers don't have an easy way to tell you where did all these stat points went. So you need to use an app called ARK Smart Breeding. Or, if your server has mods, you can just use a spyglass mod with stat points feature. Also, admin gun will show you the stat points, but we can't use that. So now, when you knock out a 150 Rex and you feed it the best kibble, the best food, you can feed them the kibble they want or you can feed them better kibble. Kibble is a special food for taming dinos. Each kibble has a range of dinos who prefers that kibble. You can feed better kibble, but you can feed worse kibble. You can always feed higher level kibble to the dinos, even if they do not prefer it. So your dino will get some levels in this process, the taming process. You will get little less than half of your dino's current level with the max taming effectiveness. So 150 level, the half is 75. Little less is 74. That means 74 extra stat points. Now your dino after tame will be 224. After that, there is something called level ups. Like your human character, you can get experience with your dinos, and your dinos will use that experience to get more stat points. One of the most common mistakes ARK players do when they start to explore the breeding level ups, they do not pass to the offspring. Before Genesis Part 1, every single dino could get 73 level ups, but now X variants of some dinos, you can get 88 level ups. That is something they added with Genesis Part 1. I have no idea why, but it's in the game now. Also, unofficial, there is a limit of dino levels, so you can get 150 level dino. You tame it with perfect effectiveness. Now it's 224. You farm all the experience and you reach max level up. That is 73 levels. Now your dino is 297. So you might be wondering, is that the limit? No, the max level you can reach on official is 450. If you go beyond that, your dino will disappear after a server reset, or using a cryopod on that dino, it will just disappear. So that level might be looking pretty high to you, but with breeding it is too easy to reach. Also, another thing you don't really need, but I'm gonna tell you anyway, 100 level wild dino and 100 level tamed dino is not equal. Tamed dinos will be stronger if the stats are not too messy, because after tamed, getting new levels on the dinos will give some bonuses. Like some dinos will get more HP, some dinos will get more melee. You don't need to calculate this, but it's just better to know. Also, higher level doesn't mean stronger dino. Higher stat means stronger dino. 220 level dino might have 35 points into HP and 60 points into oxygen, and 180 level dino might have 50 points into HP. So low level has the more HP and it will be the winner in the assumed fight. Now let's move to mating, incubating and gestation. In order to breed and get babies, first you need to learn about mating. To mate dinos, you need a female dino and a male dino. All you need to do is turn on mating. They are both must be not following anything and also not be encumbered. When they are mating, you will see a red hearts on top of them. Also, a male dino is always ready to mate, but females will have a cooldown after mating. Some creatures like Rexes will lay eggs and you need to pick those eggs up and incubate them. ACs will incubate every egg possible. Just keep adding more ACs until they are incubating. It doesn't matter if the eggs wants more hot or more cold. ACs will fix that. Around 20 to 25 should be enough for every egg. Also, you can pick the eggs and store them inside the fridges, and then you can deal with them later. But for some creatures, there will be a gestation timer, so they will incubate their eggs inside themselves. Unfortunately for you, you can't pick those eggs up because it won't be like an item in their inventory. Don't get me wrong. For those creatures who has gestation period, you need to be there when the babies came out. So what happens after the babies came out from the egg or from the womb? You need to claim the baby as fast as possible. With the official settings, most dinos will have 5 seconds to survive. They will starve and die really fast. And after you claim them, your duty of raising babies starts. Now, after they are claimed, you can access their inventories and start feeding them. Depending on server settings, you will see an imprint timer on top of their heads. After this timer ends, you can give care to them. This will improve all of their stats, but it will not pass to their offspring. Imprint bonus will not pass to their offsprings. If you can get 100% imprint on a dino, it will get bonus stats, not stat points. It just improves their already owned stats. These stats will have more power. I don't know if this is the right word here. Also, if you ride that dino, they will take 30% less damage and they will do 30% more damage, but only when you you are riding it. So now we got the dino, we made it, and we get the babies. How about mutations? When you made two dinos, their offspring will pick up stat points from them, like HP. The baby will take the HP stat points either from the male or from the female. So, like this male has 30 stat points into HP, and this female has 20 stat points into HP. The baby will get one or the other. It cannot have any less, but again, level ups. The gained level by gaining experience do not pass. Now, it cannot have less, but it can have more. The baby can get a mutation from one of the parents. Every dino who has less than 20 mutations from its ancestry can get a mutation. So, this female has 20 points into HP and has less than 20 mutations. So, it can get a HP mutation. With that, the baby will have 2 more HP stat points. That means 22 points into HP. Also, this male has 30 points into HP and has less than 20 mutations. So, also, this can get a HP mutation too. And with that, the baby will have 2 more HP stats. And that means 32 points into HP. It will be either 20 or 30. And if it gets a mutation into HP, it will be either 22 or 32. So, it will get either one. If it gets a mutation on that stat, it will be 2 more. One mutation is 2 stat points. Also, it will give a color mutation. Sometimes those colors are not noticeable because there are few color areas. And sometimes dinos do not use every color area. Anyway, I don't care too much about color mutations because of constant events. Color mutations are not valuable for me. Also, it's possible to get a mutation on speed. It is then called wasted stat because speed is a wasted stat, and then mutation on a speed is called wasted mutation because speed doesn't improve with wild or tamed stats. You can use your level up stat points into speed though, but in most cases it won't be valuable. But there are some exceptions, of course. Now, getting mutations are not easy. That is why you need to mate a lot. Seriously, by a lot, I mean really a lot. Really, so many eggs. You need to crack open so many eggs. So many. Also, on official, this process takes months, even years. Just so you know how insane this is. That is why, to make it even a little bit faster, you will get a male and around 50, maybe 100 females. As many as you can get. And depending on your server settings, you will mate them all the time. For official, it's either every day or every 2 days. With egg-laying creatures, it is a lot easier. You can just save and store the eggs and incubate them later. But for the gestation ones, you need a lot of cryopods. Also, you can't miss the timer. You have to be there, or they will be all over the place starving on your watch. That's ugly. So you have to be there when the gestation period is over and the baby comes out. You have to be waiting with a cryopod or with couple of troughs full of food. So you do this many times and you will get new mutations. And your dinos will get stronger. But stacking mutations is not that easy. It's a little bit complicated because of something called mutation counter. It's a messed up little thing. It doesn't work like you think. It works weird. You just count the mutations as if they are just numbers. They just count them with the ancestry line. So what does that mean? Let me show you. This male doesn't have any mutations. It is called a clean male. And this female doesn't have any mutations. And this is also called clean female. After breeding these dinos many times, eventually you'll get a mutation into a baby, male or female. Now this one was female. We will take this female gender. This female rhino baby got a mutation on stamina from her mother's part. So 21 stamina become 23 stamina and 1 mutation. And we will replace it as a breeder. Now this female has 1 mutation and the male has 0 mutations. After you breed this, you will see the baby also has a mutation, but it's not a new mutation. It just counts the mutation it got from its parent. Now this was a male with 1 mutation. Let's replace this with the male breeder. The baby will have 2 mutations. So now we replaced our breeders because the mutated ones are supposedly stronger later, but this is just a tutorial. After you breed these two, the new baby will have two mutations, one from the male and one from the female. But again, this is not a new mutation. If we replace this again as a breeder, the new baby will have three mutations. Again, not a new mutation. So the new baby is out. And as you can see here, we have 3 mutation counted on this one. But the stats are all the same. No new stat points, but the mutation counter is still going. If you do this couple of times, you will see 500 mutations, 2000 mutations. It is just counting the bloodline. Let me show you that again. Now this male has more than 200 mutations, and this female has more than 100 mutations. After we breed these, the baby will have more than 300 mutations. So what is this insanity? Why are we getting fake mutations? Useless. There are no new stat points. How are we gonna get good dinos? This happens because people do this to get dinos for use, not for breeding. You will breed as many as, let's say, manas. You will breed as many manas as you can. So then you can jump around and don't be sad when one dies because you got hundreds, even hundreds waiting for you in your base. So how to breed them to get new mutations? How to breed dinos to get new mutations is not easy, but also it's not hard. Stacking mutations is all about not letting your dino exceed the mutation limit of 20. So remember what I said earlier. Each parent has a chance to give a mutation to its baby. So all you need to do is make sure one of the parent is clean or has less than 20 mutations. At first, using your best dino, female and male as breeders is okay. It's good. It will speed up, but after few mutations, you're gonna have to do your breeding with clean dinos. So, what is a clean dino? It is basically this. You find a level 5 dino, you knock it out, and you punch it until its taming effectiveness goes to 0. Then you get it with 5 level with no bonus levels. After that, you can tame more 5 levels and breed them with each other to get a lot of females, or you can just clone them. When you have enough 5 level clean females, you put them in a good spot, a breeding engine, and then you'll never ever touch them again. You'll keep breeding them with your male breeder, and when you get a good mutation, you will just replace your male breeder. That is how breeding in ARK works. That is how you breed super OP powerful dinos. And finally, dear watchers, let's breed ourselves a super OP, a super powerful T-Rex. I built this breeding area for that mission, but that will be in the next video. If you wanna see how I breed a super dino from start to end, make sure to subscribe for that. So, thank you for watching, dear watchers. I hope this video helps you out, and see you on the next video.